Scarlet Witch is both one of the most powerful beings on the earth while also being one of the most terrifying and likely most mentally unstable. She's also been around for a heck of a long time, which means she has many insane iterations throughout the multiverse. I'm Adam Andrews, and today on Top 10 Nerd we're talking about the 10 most powerful Scarlet Witch variants. Coming in at number 10, we got the Scarlet Witch from the Onslaught Reborn universe, which is a copy of Counter-Earth from Heroes Reborn. She has all the same powers of Earth 616 Wanda and is one of the most powerful magicians in the Marvel universe, able to conjure and counter spells. This version of Wanda also possessed something called Witch Sight. Witch Sight is the sight, which is basically a magical kind of vision that allows Wanda to be able to see things others cannot, and also perceive invisible and intangible people or objects. In this dimension, the Scarlet Witch is a member of the evil team known as the Masters of Evil. But under unspecified circumstances, Wanda left the Masters of Evil and became an Avengers member. This Scarlet Witch is practically the same as the 616 one though, and doesn't do anything particularly crazy, so number 10 she goes. Number 9. Gypsy Witch. All of the members of the Avengers were affected when Morgan Le Fay released her reality distortion wave. The distortion wave altered the time period for everyone into one that was honestly a pretty cool medieval setting. All the Avengers' clothes, thought processes, and speech patterns changed to fit into this setting. Scarlet Witch was one of the only ones though who retained her memories, as her powers countered those of Morgan Le Fay. She was kept imprisoned, but despite that fact, she was still able to use her power to reach out and unlock the memories of a few of the Avengers that had now become the Queen's elite guardsmen. She also pumped power into Wonder Man, and with the other Avengers' willpower, shifted reality back to the way it should be and simultaneously defeated Morgan Le Fay. Number 8. Brother Mutant. Unlike almost any other versions of Scarlet Witch, Scarlet Warlock was a male version of the crazy powerful character from Earth 127, appearing in Exiles issue 85 from 2006. But if he wasn't already powerful enough with those powers, he was combined with this world's versions of Wolverine, Magneto, Quicksilver, and Mesmero to become Brother Mutant when he attempted to imbue Magneto with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton. Brother Mutant became a single entity with all their combined powers, and he swore to end the life of every non-mutant on Earth. Multiple teams of alternate versions of Wolverines were sent here to try and correct the mistake that was this being ever existing, and they almost all failed, except for the last group of Wolverines who, alongside the Exiles, were finally able to bring him down. Eventually. Number 7. Ultimate Scarlet Witch. The Scarlet Witch from the Ultimate Comics universe of Earth 1610 could teleport, fly, and create far more powerful disruptions with her powers thanks to her actual mutant ability of probability manipulation, which required her to do the math to assess the probability of an effect she wanted to make happen, which is such a nerdy but cool way to see her power. She was a more considered and patient Scarlet Witch, and she never lashed out in the same way the Earth 616 one did. And she even helped lead the Brotherhood of Mutants for a while, all the while keeping in touch with Charles Xavier to promote a more peaceful mutant-human integration, which is really nice. She did also have magical abilities which she inherited from her mother, the Witch of Wundagore, Magda. Wanda didn't really have control of her magical abilities though, which was obvious since she unintentionally used them to bend time and space to summon dinosaurs to the Savage Land. That sentence alone is pretty still cool though, so yeah. Number 6. Age of Apocalypse Wanda. The original Scarlet Witch in the dark dystopian timeline of Age of Apocalypse died, but she was cloned by human scientists later on after the mutants had kind of become the leading force in the world. She was resurrected specifically to redo her most devastating act from Earth 616. You know, the one where she erased almost all mutant powers? And she really got close to doing it too. It honestly seems like she was more powerful than the regular Scarlet Witch, considering she had just been cloned and already had access to the same level of power she had when she was going to get rid of mutant powers. And she was a conduit for the life force at that time, so yeah, that's kind of insane. But unfortunately for the Humies, the effect of the No More Mutants spell had a range of about 12 feet or so. And after she used the spell, she fell down lifeless, so joke's on you, humans. Number 5. Silver Witch. The Silver Witch is one of the most powerful variants of the Scarlet Witch thanks to combining her tremendous magical ability with the power of her brother Quicksilver. The Silver Witch is one of the fastest superheroes in Marvel Comics, and she hails from the Earth TRN-852, or the 2021 Heroes Reborn universe, where the Avengers never formed, meaning her and her brother never reformed, and they joined some mutants protesting a bill that would force mutant registration, which led directly to the fight where Wanda absorbed and bonded Pietro's power with her own after he passed away fighting Blur, one of the members of the Squadron Supreme who replaced the Avengers. She was crazy powerful, but was also still pretty mentally disturbed. She could fire hexes at about 1,000 miles per hour, and she could fire 1,000 hexes a minute, which is just an insane thought. She removed part of Blur's soul and banished him to the Dread Dimension. She was eventually imprisoned in the Ravencroft Institute, but the speed of Quicksilver mixed with the magically chaos magic of Scarlet Witch, good lord. She also looked positively dashing, but you know. Number 4. Weapon Hex. Warp World. To really oversimplify it and cut out a lot of the details, there was a time in the story known as Infinity Wars where Gamora, wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, folded reality in half, merging souls together and creating a new reality known as Warp World. Some really cool characters came from this, including Laura Kinney as Weapon Hex. This character is an amalgamation of X-23 and Scarlet Witch. In this world, she was the 22nd attempt to create a vessel for the dark eldritch demon, give me a sec, Mephistopheles. Nope, Mephistopheles. I got it. Mephistopheles. Who is a combo of Mephisto and Chthon, and who has an absolutely evil name that I hate with every inch of my soul. Why would you do this to me? Sarah Kinney, though, was impregnated with a mutant girl, combining the evolutionary's best enhancements and enchantments. She had a regenerative healing factor, retractable bone claws, chaos magic, including Scarlet Witch's hexes and magical abilities, plus necromancy. She was pretty crazy powerful and super cool, and she was a part of Warp World's Defenders. Number 3. MCU Scarlet Witch. I've said it before, but the MCU nerfs the heck out of most of Marvel's characters. It's upsetting to me, but at the same time, I guess I get it. Having said that though, I think the MCU Scarlet Witch is actually a pretty heavy hitter in comparison to other alternate versions of herself. She handicaps the whole of the Avengers team, sending Hulk into a rampage in Age of Ultron. She sends Vision hundreds of meters deep into the ground in Civil War. She almost completely defeats Thanos by herself in the battle in Endgame. And in WandaVision, she warps reality of an entire town and magically creates her own children. Now, I'm gonna spoil some things about the new Doctor Strange, so you have about 5 seconds to skip to the next point starting now. Alright, if you've seen this movie, you know she is crazy as hell. She is in possession of the Darkhold and is using it to try and basically steal the children of another alternate Wanda. To do this, she uses demons and creatures from other realities trying to capture America Chavez and steal her power to hop through realities. She single-handedly and successfully assaults the Camartage, which was being defended by a literal army of magic users, including Wong and Doctor Strange. She brutally defeats a whole team of the Illuminati from another reality in moments, while inhabiting the body of that reality's Scarlet Witch, and she has Doctor Strange and America Chavez on the run for the whole frickin' movie. Oh, and she looks like Elizabeth Olsen, so that's a superpower all on its own. Number 2. House of M. When the Avengers were deciding how to deal with Scarlet Witch, her brother Quicksilver came to her and influenced her to alter reality to make everyone's desires come to be. Sort of. And to change reality so that she was safe and everything was hunky-dory. She created a whole new reality called the House of M that saw her and her family being the rulers of Earth with her father Magneto in charge. That alone is an insane feat. The reality wasn't completely perfect though. Other than a few heroes having some problems and humans being hunted down by mutants, a few characters, namely Wolverine, could sense that something was up, and that this was not the way things were supposed to be. Once the Wolverine-led resistance unveiled the truth to everybody, Magneto, in a rage, used his powers to end Quicksilver's life in a pretty brutal and intense few comic panels. This broke Wanda even more than she already was, and it caused her to say one of her most famous lines. no more mutants. This little sentence caused 986,618 of the mutant population of Earth to lose their powers completely. Coming in at number 1, it's the Scarlet Witch from the Disassembled event. Now, I know this is the 616 version of Scarlet Witch. That is technically a variation, and it's very easily the most powerful one. For me, a big part of what shows that, other than creating the House of M a whole new reality, is the Avengers Disassembled event. Wanda and Wasp were just chilling by the pool when Wasp mentioned Wanda's kids. And the only problem is that the existence of her children had been wiped from her mind. And when Wasp brought it up, it brought all those memories back, and Wanda absolutely lost it. Several things happened next, with none of the Avengers even knowing the cause. For starters, Scott Lang Ant-Man was killed when a previously deceased Jack of Hearts showed up and detonated. While the heroes were trying to figure out what just happened, Vision showed up saying that he was not in control of himself and that he is sorry, as he also began to detonate. Then Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk began to get uncharacteristically raged and tore Vision in half. Next, we see Tony at a UN conference randomly start to act as though he was incredibly drunk, even though he hadn't had a drink, and he verbally accosted the Latvian ambassador and threatened him. Then, a whole invasion of the Kree just randomly came out of nowhere, resulting in the passing of Hawkeye, and then the Kree just randomly left as quickly as they showed up. All of that was Wanda Maximoff using her magic. It almost led to the superhero community deciding to put Wanda into the afterlife, and led to her creating the House of M reality. Alright, you little nerds, now you know some of the most powerful versions of Scarlet Witch. Got a better suggestion or ideas for a part 2? Let me know down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe while you're here on Top 10 Nerd. For now though, I'm Adam Andrews, you can find my socials down below, and until next time, peace out nerds.